Hello Kingston Clan, how are you today? We're here trying to pull off a feat that Grammy did many times. We're going to try and make 3 different cookies in one day. And we're starting with the nut cups, the famous nut cups. So I did a couple of things prelim just to make it go faster, so let's get started. Okay, one of the things I did was add the cream cheese in, and it then calls for, there was 3 ounces of cream cheese, and now it calls for a stick of butter. Yesterday you saw I used butter with canola oil out of a tub. It really doesn't matter, it's what I have right now and it's what I'm going to use. 6 of one, half dozen another. So I'm going to get this kind of broken up a little bit before I add in the before I add in the flour. And this is a 2-part recipe. This is the shell or the crust. So this, if you know the nut cup, there's kind of a mini cake, if you would. It's got a crust, or mini pie. It's probably a better way to. Mini walnut pie is probably the best way to describe it. So you got a crust, and then you have filling. And so right now, we're making the crust. I was thinking about adding some background music, but it's just another thing to coordinate on the device while you got the video and all sorts of things going. And as much as I was in the tech industry, I'm not very good at some of this stuff. So, no background music. Let me get this mixed up here. Maybe I got a little extra cream cheese in here. This is looking a little dry at the moment. Get that extra cream cheese in here. Maybe just a function of breaking up the batter more. Try and minimize the shaking again. You all think you're on a roller coaster. You'll throw up watching. See, Mom used again, she had a mixing device that had 2 mixers on it that looked like this, except they were harder and didn't bend as much. You've seen these, and they go. Well, I don't have one of those, so I'm doing it by hand. Maybe I should invest in one. I could have probably done this in the Cuisinart. Ah, there you go. Next time I will use the Cuisinart. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Well, there goes one of the tips. If you have a Cuisinart and you need to mix dough, even if you're doing bread, as you'll see in future videos, it's the best way to do it. You come out with the best consistency. And so I'm going to wash my hands here and do a little manual work on this dough. I washed my hands before we started, as always, but I'm going to wash them again. I've touched a number of things before, after I washed, so I'm going to wash again, and then I'm going to go in and use my hands a little bit to finish off this dough. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, I think I got the dough in good shape. Okay, so now it says we're supposed to refrigerate for a while. It can be anywhere from a half hour to overnight. We're not going to do overnight, but we will do some time while we prep the filling, probably an hour or so in the fridge, and we'll go from there. Okay, on to the filling. So, in a small bowl, voila. Mix filling ingredients. Okay. 1 beaten egg. So I'll drop that in there first. And now I'll beat. Hopefully not too much shaking for you guys. Okay. One half cup of sugar. Okay, it's probably a little less, doesn't really matter, just a little less bad for you. 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Here we go. Clean this out a little bit here. And 1 cup chopped walnuts. It says pecan or walnuts, but I verified through a number of credible sources that walnuts are the correct way to go here. There you go. And now let's mix together. Okay. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so this is the end of the prep stage. We have to wait for the crust to get cold, and then we will come back to the bake stage. over and out.